Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the Corporate Services Committee for June 3rd of 2024. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And I'll read the land acknowledgement. Grimsby is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Adirondack, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The regional municipality of Niagara-Grimsby stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands in which we live. Thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest or non-pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Could I get an approval of the agenda? I need a mover. Councillor Howe. And a seconder, Councillor Vardy. That's not working. Oh, no. Resolve that the June 3rd, 2024 Corporate Service Committee agenda be approved. All in favor? Carried. Next item is receipt of previous minutes. I need a mover and seconder to receive the previous minutes. Councillor Howe, Councillor Vardy. Resolve that the following minutes be received. Corporate Services Committee minutes of May 6, 2024. Grimsby Downtown BIA, May the 8th, 2024. Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee minutes of May 9th, 2024. And Grimsby Downtown BIA AGM minutes of May 29th, 2024. All in favor? Carried. There are no delegations. There are no consent reports. However, we do have some discussion reports. The first discussion report is regarding a records retention bylaw update, and I'd like to get a mover and seconder to get it on the floor. Councillor Vardy. Councillor Howe. Resolve that report TC 2407, Records Retention Bylaw Update, dated June 3rd, 2024, be received, and 1, that the Corporate Services Standing Committee recommend Council approve the new 2024 Records Retention Bylaw, Appendix A, and repeal Bylaw 15-71, Appendix B. All in favor?
Just a question.
Is this the place for a question? Yeah, sorry.
Actually, Elise can provide a little bit of a...
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, let's get Elise to give us an update first. Elise, go ahead.
So through you, Chair, the records retention bylaw is utilized by staff in all areas of the town of Grimsby for the classification, retention, and destruction of records. The retention bylaw was last updated in 2015, so we wanted to ensure that we were bringing it up to date with any changes in legislation. We also wanted to ensure that the terminology reflected in the bylaw was accurate and reflected electronic records more, as there has been a shift in recent years. The biggest changes to the bylaw are outlining the responsibilities of staff, elected officials, and the town clerk or designate. So one such change is that the town clerk can now update the retention schedule without having to update the bylaw annually. This is beneficial as we receive annual updates to the retention schedule. As this bylaw is much more comprehensive and thorough, it is recommended that it be approved. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Councillor Howe.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. Throughout the report, in a bunch of different locations, is mentioned citation group, and then it looked like file numbers or something like that, and I could not for the life of me figure out what citation group was. Wonder if you could expand on that one.
Through you, Chair. Yes, so citation group is referring to federal or provincial legislation. So there are actually two additional documents that staff can refer to. So the group that created and updated TOMRIMS, which is InfoPros, I believe, they use the citation group codes to reference any legislation that may apply to retention. So financial, there's always going to be specifics when it comes to retention of financial records. So those reference codes, then we have the reference documents that we can look at just to make sure that it is reflecting the accurate legislation.
Councillor Howe.
If I may continue. Is there a hierarchy, for instance, at the municipal level, and then doesn't go provincial, or must be thinking about vacation, and or federal? Like, is there a pecking order? If one changes it, the ones below it have to, how does that work when all three levels are involved?
Through you, Chair. To my knowledge, it would be federal would be the overarching, and then it would go down to provincial and then municipal. So we don't ever really see anything that is going to be reflected very differently between the two because they're always taking that into consideration. So either it's the federal one that may pertain to financial, and then provincial won't really touch on that because federal already has the legislation for it. So again, InfoPros is the company that are definitely the experts on it, and they're the ones that provide us with those updates. But if we had questions, we would be able to go to them just to verify.
Go ahead, Councillor Howe.
How does it work from a staff perspective when something comes up? Because I know the office in charge of whatever, does that get triggered after a certain time? Is there the computer notify a department, hey, you've got this that you have to decide on, whether or not you're going to keep that information?
In an ideal world, that would be amazing. Unfortunately, just because we have so many different programs that contain information and that retain it, we're not going to be able to get notifications for everything. So what happens is once a year, we're going to be triggering essentially a mass destruction period, ideally at the first of the year to attend anything from the year before and older. It's just a matter of, it would be our office that would trigger that. And we would just advise staff to have a look at the retention schedule. And that's what's telling us how many years a record would be kept for, if we're going to be disposing it or if it's a permanent type record.
Any other questions? Good. Okay. Thank you, Elise. Resolve that report TC 2407, Records Retention Bylaw Update, dated June 3rd, 2024, be received, and that the Corporate Services Standing Committee recommend Council approve the new 2024 Records Retention Bylaw, Appendix A, and repeal Bylaw 15-71, Appendix B. All in favor? Carried. Next discussion report is the civil ceremony and marriage license update. Something more pleasant. Can I have a mover and a seconder to get it on the floor? Councillor Vardy, Councillor Howe. Katie, where are you? There you go. It's all yours.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. So this report is intended to provide the committee with an update on how marriage licenses and civil ceremonies have been going in 2024. So we've recently modernized our marriage license process. We entered into a participation agreement with the province for an online application service. And for ceremonies, we've partnered with Nels Manor Museum as an off-site option for couples too. So both of these ventures have been going really, really well so far, and happy to answer any questions you might have.
Open the floor for discussion. Councillor Vardy.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. How many marriages have we performed since we started doing them again?
Does Jennifer know?
Sorry, through you, Chair, I was just pulling this up. So in 2023, 19 ceremonies were performed over the course of the year. And this year, from January to May of 2024, we've got 13 ceremonies performed, with 2 more booked into mid-June.
Oh, okay.
So we're quickly coming up to that number, and we're only halfway through the year, so it's exciting.
And what do we charge for the service?
Sorry, it is $318.49 for our service, but with the partnership with Nels Manor, if a couple wishes to choose that offsite option, it's $300 e-transferred directly to the manor on top of our ceremony fee. So it'd be $618.
Oh, okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Any questions? Just curious. Do we advertise or market that service? We do, okay. How do we do that?
Through you, Chair. So on our social medias, we've published it to our website as well. But typically we do periodic sort of pushes with Christina, our communication specialist. So we'll publish that on our social media. Yeah, just try to get out there as much as we can.
So do you know what the uptake is as a result of marketing it through more social media? I mean, do we have some way of measuring that? Just curious.
Through you, Chair. No, I don't have specifics. It's something that we could potentially look at, but I don't have numbers offhand, no.
Philip?
To assist the chair, what we could do is we could maybe pull some statistics on the website to see how many views are on that page. And it'll give us at least some idea of how that channel's doing in advertising the service.
It's a good idea, actually, because I mean, I know we advertise a lot of events and things on our own website and on social media. I'm just always curious as to what kind of uptake we get from those things. Or should we go a step further and market things in another way? Or maybe we do another way. I mean, do we market in newspapers and magazines or radio or obviously not television, but so, but it's always good we need to measure. If we're marketing things, we need to measure what the uptake is, and we can do that now, right? Okay, thank you. Resolve that report TC 24-08 civil ceremony, by the way, thank you, Katie, regarding website, civil ceremony marriage license update dated June 3rd, 2024 be received. All in favor? Carried. Last report is from the IT department regarding a website migration update. Can I have a mover and seconder to get it on the floor for discussion? Councillor Howe, Councillor Vardy. Philip, it's all yours.
Thank you. Through the chair, I do have an update for you. Just to review the 6-page report we pulled together. The town launched its modernized website in November of 2018, which is hosted by a company called GHD Digital. The platform and infrastructure for the website that's being hosted is being replaced by a new platform called GovStack. It's the technical backend that provides the service. So we have to move to this new platform. Town Council provided approved funds in 2023 to start this migration. The town's website is approximately 200 individual pages, so that's the work that had to be done. We had to just move all that content over to the new infrastructure. The migration is not intended to be an update to the look and feel or the content itself. It's just meant to migrate the site from one platform to the other. Many town staff, we have a web authors group, were involved in migrating that content over. I'd like to congratulate them on all their hard work over the last approximately 8 months worth of work. We successfully soft launched the new website last week. We had a number of issues that came up. So we soft launch, that means we make it live without telling anybody it's live. But if you went to the town's website last week, you would have saw it looked slightly different, which allows town staff to work over a number of days to fix any issues before we advertise the new live site. Our full launch is scheduled to be completed later this week, and once that's done, the next step is we're planning to do an accessibility audit of the website. A third party comes in, looks over our website, and makes sure that we're accessible to all parties. Katie, if you could maybe pull the site up, we could have a quick look at the homepage while I keep going. And before I turn it over to Christina, just some general metrics that are included in the report, some metrics, these are not all of them. 62% of users who access Grimsby.ca come from a mobile device. So it's not people sitting at home on their computers or laptops, it's people on their phones. So they're out and about accessing our site. The website, the use of the website has increased over the last 12 months, both in page views and in session duration. So session duration is just the amount of time they're on the site. The most visited pages on Grimsby.ca are the library home pages, our careers page where we advertise jobs, and various recreational pages. So with that said, I'm happy to answer any questions, but I'd ask the chair to acknowledge Christina. I think she has a few comments she wants to add to the report.
Christina, go ahead.
Through you, Chair. So as Philip mentioned, we have not spent too much time on the aesthetics, but we did feel that for the landing page as a welcome for residents, it was important to make a couple of changes that we feel are beneficial to the website. And as Philip mentioned, ongoing, we'll be making edits to the content and doing some refresh. But the team worked on just some general imagery and updates on their respective pages. Did you want to pull that back up again, Katie? Is that okay? I just wanted to call out a couple of what we call quick wins on the landing page. So starting with the image, we pulled or used a updated drone shot of the town of Grimsby, so it just adds some nice color and provides, just a nice landscape of our beautiful town. When you scroll down just a little bit further, we do have icons. These definitely are visual cues that help residents navigate the page. You'll notice as well, we've changed the color of the icons to green to match the brand guidelines. We are doing a full accessibility scan, as Philip mentioned, but I just wanted to call out that we are using an accessible font and accessible color as well, just on the landing page here. We also have, if you scroll down, we've got the 3 tiles that you can see. So those are interchangeable. So anything that we are feeling are hot topics or things that we want to push out to residents, we can change the graphics and change the text on those tiles. And if you scroll down a little bit further, we have a call out now to the Let's Talk Grimsby. So we definitely felt there was an opportunity to bridge the grimsby.ca website with the Let's Talk Grimsby. We felt there was an opportunity for residents to find it quick and easy and understand a little bit more about how this tool works from a community engagement platform, because it is more of a two-way dialogue on Let's Talk Grimsby. We also have updated, there's the news section, so that pulls from our ongoing news updates that I regularly update to the website. The events is the community calendar. Again, it's more detailed, providing residents with a snapshot of upcoming events for the week ahead. We also have the RSS feed on the far right that you can see that says hydrant flushing. So that's actually live, and that pulls content directly from social media. So anytime we make an update on our social media platforms, it's fed and will appear on the landing page. And I think the last two to call out at the very bottom. Sorry, Katie, keep scrolling down. We've updated under Connect with Us. We now have a detailed list of our social media platforms. So some that maybe residents were unaware of, we have them all listed. And under Contact Us, we've done a detailed refresh on the full contact directory. So we ensured that all of the email addresses and phone numbers were updated and that everything was tied to the respective departments. So I think that's everything.
Councillor Howe?
If I can, through you, Chair. On that one icon band, which is just about the second probably screen when it comes up, if there is one slowdown, or is sometimes when you tell someone, well, look, I'll go to the website and put it on the report an issue. And then they have to look around and find out where that report an issue is. And I'm not the most technically savvy person there is. So myself, you try to remember what it is. That, would it not be possible to put one of those icons as report an issue? Sorry.
Philip?
Through the chair, a very good point. If you review the icons that Christina called out, you will see that they match with our top page views in the report, where I list the top page views, including the library, the calendar. So when we look, our report and issue page is not one of the top views. We have tens of thousands of views of other pages. That page doesn't even make the top 15. That said, we did keep the report and issue consistent with the way it was. As we mentioned a couple of times, we didn't want to change the navigation or change the content necessarily, we just wanted to port it over. So report an issue is still under the top right on the homepage. If you hit I want to report an issue. You get there in 2 clicks.
So did I hear correct when you said that only 15% of the hits to the page are about issues? Like when you say issues, I'm thinking about, there's a hole in the sidewalk or cat's up the tree or whatever. Is that the 15% you're talking about?
Through you, Chair, I don't have an exact percentage. The top 15 pages are identified in the report, and they are not any report and issue page. So people are seeking more information from the town, things like, my rec program, library programs, as opposed to reporting, potholes and streetlights out. Though that does happen as well. You can submit that through report and issue, but it's not one of our top 15 pages over the last 12 months.
Councillor Vardy.
Could it be that, it's not readily visible, so that's not why it's getting the hits? Because I would think that would be one of our most important ways for people to contact us, especially if we're being told to tell people to call us to go to report an issue. I think that would be, I'd be curious to move it up front and then see if we get a lot more hits.
Sure, I think that's very fair and valid. We haven't explored the layout changes or navigation changes to the site map, but that's something that we're consistently doing. We'll take that back and we'll have a talk about it and potentially make that change.
And if I may, to make it clear that it's not report an issue with this website, it's about report an issue with respect to, have you noticed a problem, a pothole, trees, blah, blah, some way to kind of explain to people what report an issue is about. Because sometimes you go to a website and you go to report an issue, it's usually a technical issue that they're asking for.
Yeah, that was surprising, actually, because, if you look at supposedly the number of complaints that councillors get either by email or by phone, and we say, go to the website and register your complaint, I would have thought that would have been a very higher number. I'm surprised, actually, to be honest with you. Maybe it's not obvious enough, but maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Just another question for you, Philip. Did you want to address that? Yeah. Go ahead.
Through you, Chair, I just wanted to say, I also think there's something to be said about our customer service and the access that residents have. A lot of times they know to come and speak to Amber at the front or, emails are readily available on our website as well. So there's something just to be said. I'm not disputing the fact that maybe it would be worthwhile, but I just mean our town staff are accessible to the public as well. So that might be another channel that they're reaching out.
So if someone does have an issue, a complaint, whatever, or concern, if they came to the front counter here, would you direct them to the website, or would you kind of deal with the problem right there? That was part one of the question. The other part is, if someone calls in the complaint, do we direct them to the website, or do we deal with the complaint on the phone?
Make you turn your head this way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Victoria.
Through the chair. So we want to make it as easy as possible for the customer. So if someone calls and they're not sure or unfamiliar how to use a computer, aren't comfortable doing it, our customer service representatives can do it on their behalf. If they come in, we can do it that way. Or depending on what the issue is, if it's urgent, we can contact the staff member directly. So it's always good to enter it in through our website, and we encourage people to do that because then we can keep track of it. We make sure it gets followed through. But in the event that someone comes in, we're still making sure that the issue's recorded and addressed. So,
Councillor Howell?
if I can, through you, Chair. Philip, you've got 91% users from Canada. Are we able to pinpoint how many of them are Grimsby? And I guess that's pretty difficult because of, but geographically, can you get closer to that kind of a number in Grimsby and use of it, or is that as close as we can get?
Thank you for the question. Through the chair, I believe at this time that's as close as we can get. This comes from a tool called Google Analytics, and it's just tracking each individual computer and its IP address. So I believe that's as good as the tool gives us.
All right. Seeing no other questions? Resolve that report ITSI 2402, website migration dated June 3rd, 2024, be received. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Christina. Sorry, that button. Under other business, Philip is going to give us a verbal update on the non-core asset management plan. Philip, over to you again.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, on Council's agenda tonight is a non-core asset management plan. I want to provide committee with an update as IT assets are part of that plan, our technology assets, hardware. In general, in summary, IT assets are in a good state and there's no funding gap. This is identified on page 2 in the summary of the report. There are other areas also described there, but for the IT hardware, there's no funding gap on our asset management plan. In December 2017, the Infrastructure, Jobs and Prosperity Act and supporting regulation, which is asset management planning for municipal infrastructure, it came into effect in December 2017. The regulation stipulates various requirements that municipalities need to fulfill regarding asset management plans for core assets and non-core assets. In 2019, the town created and adopted a 2023-2026 strategic asset management plan and policy, which completed the first part of the regulation for core assets. The town retained a consultant, SLBC, I believe you'll hear from them tonight, who also completed the core asset management plan and now has helped us complete the non-core asset management plan, the second part of that. The regulation is required to be approved by council before July 1st, 2024 to meet the regulation. SLBC worked alongside town staff to complete the non-core asset management plan that will be presented tonight. The asset management plan describes the actions required for the town to manage its assets and for the following service groups: facilities, parks and outdoor recreation, natural infrastructure, fleet, fire, and IT. So all of those areas are considered non-core asset management for the non-core asset management plan. I'll leave it at that, and I'll be happy to take any questions. I just wanted to prepare committee that your assets are also part of this plan.
I guess we're going to get a more detailed presentation tonight, right?
Through the chair, I believe, then that's why I stepped out for a second. I went to speak to Brandon. I believe the consultant, SLBC, will be giving you a presentation alongside the full report.
In the meantime,
for all those areas.
In the meantime, we have a more intimate opportunity here to ask a question of Philip if you want. Anyone have a question? Okay, great. Seeing none, thanks, Philip. Can I have a mover and a seconder to receive the update? Councillor Vardy. Councillor Howe. Resolved that the verbal update on the non-core asset management plan be received. All in favor? Carried. That's it for the meeting. Next meeting will be July the 8th, 2024 at 12 p.m. in the chamber. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.